I'm Meaghan Chitwood, and welcome to From Overlooked to Consistently Booked. I help business owners and sales professionals build strong, effective referral networks so they don't have to chase business because it comes to them. Each week, we break down what actually makes people refer you, trust you, and talk about you. And this week, we are talking about why your follow-up must add value to help you not only get more clients, but also retain clients, and how to stay top of mind in very creative ways with Hal Craig of HofPro.
Hi.
Hey, Hal.
Hello.
How are you? Thank you so much for continuing this conversation with us. So we were talking about last time about impressions and how do you stay ultimately top of mind. Mm-hmm. And you've got some things to show, kind of some creative ideas on what we can do to add more impressions and stay visible with customers.
So, yes. So, all right. So one thing to do is you always want to make sure your customers feel valued, right?
Yes.
So and they feel appreciated. So I love, just to show you, because we were talking about impressions, when someone, signs up as a new member with BNI, right? Sometimes you don't have to give them anything, but what you do is you have you give them these boxes. You send these out, as an appreciation gift for someone signing up. Yep. But then I'm like, so you're doing it, it makes them feel good. So then they're like, hey, this was really nice. I spent some money. Yeah. They haven't even gotten a referral yet, possibly. That's right. When they're really, but they get this nice, and it's not cheap. It's not this is a really nice box. So then when they get it, I wanted to look in and see okay, how many impressions is Meaghan with BNI getting with this, so with you got a notebook in here, you've got a charger, you've got a desktop stand, and you got some pens.
Yep.
So I put that all together, and I started looking at it, how many average impressions each one get. And each box, when you do this to be nice and make them feel appreciated, but you're really getting 5,200 impressions. So with the 4 items that are in that box, not including the box itself. So
well, and I've been stunned with the box and people keeping the box around. Like I got it when Apple did it, right? With the boxes the Apple gets and people keep them and all those kinds of things. But I wasn't expecting people to actually keep their boxes. And I'm never watch news, and I happen to be watching the news, and someone's doing an episode on storms coming through, and I hear a voice I recognize. I look up and I was like, oh, they're a BNI member. And then my daughter points out, and there's the BNI box. So I was surprised at the number of impressions the box can actually, that day, the box got a lot of impressions because it was on news all across Alabama.
That's the ideal situation.
Yes.
So, and then you start looking how many boxes, I don't know how many members. I said, okay, let's say 600, right? Yeah. If you have 600 new members over the course of a couple of years, that's over 3 million impressions for BNI North Alabama. So it's okay, you're doing it because it's the right thing to do. No one forced you, hey, you have to do this. But it's hey, I want to do this. I want to take care of my new members and send them something nice. But you're getting a return, law of reciprocity, givers gain, right? You're getting a return of really good impressions.
So we have a joke in our family that we fall backwards into success. This is a falling backwards into success moment, because the other thing is you also gave me a statistic on what you should be investing back into your customers to retain them, which was about 5% of the revenue that they do, right? Mm-hmm. Which we're in the ballpark. I mean, we're in the ballpark by accident. I did the math after you gave me that. But it's interesting to think about reciprocating by doing retention gifts and things like that. But also I never thought about how many impressions it would actually, I just wanted things that people would actually use.
Yes, because that's the big thing. If people spend money, like we talked last time, and they spend money, they get something and it doesn't get used. That drives me nuts. My group knows, if I see something done, I'm like, that is just dumb. I'm going to start a new show. It's been crap or it's hey, is this a good item or is this going to get thrown in the junk drawer? So, but no, it's good. And then we talked a little bit about too, do you know why you should do 5% and take care of your clients? And
no.
Okay. So again, this is something that we don't all talk about, but it's being intentional with it. So we are actively out selling or referring and getting new business, right? But are we taking care of the business that we currently have?
Right.
So because there's salespeople and out there actively doing what we're doing, trying to get our clients.
Yes.
So we talked about CLV, client lifetime value.
Yes.
And most people don't even think about like that. But it's like if you've got a client or a BNI member, if they're going to stay with you for 5 years, what does that look like? Or if you've got a client that's paying you residuals, what does that look like? That's where the 5% comes from. It's like, hey, yes, you need to be doing your job and taking care of them, but also take care of them, make them feel special.
That is true. I don't think we often think about the existing customer until we lose one.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
So
right.
It is how do you be proactive? But how do you be proactive in an intentional way that makes them think of you fondly, right? Because it can't just be something completely random.
And it has to be, which you brought this up, it has to be timing too, right? So if I go pay $6,000 to get my house painted, and then a week later the painter sends me a turtle box, like a big speaker, whatever. Like I'm going, wait, that just feels like a tit for tat. It's like but if it's 3 or 4 months later, or not maybe that long, but later on, and I get a nice handwritten thank you note, thank you for letting me do this, and then it means more. And so like you taught me that, and I'm like, that's true. You got to watch the timing of it too.
Well, I can't take credit because it was actually a BNI member in your chapter that said, I did a job for someone. I gave them a bunch of booze, and then they didn't even say thank you. Then I send them this little gift box 3 months later, and I get a phone call saying thank you so much. and so I analyzed the situation, right? Mm-hmm. Like what happened, and it had to be the transactional piece, right? Oh yeah, well I did just give him a bunch of money, so
right.
He would appreciate me then, but it took effort to think of him 3 months later. Yeah, it is, and it's about creative ways to become top of mind with them again. And the person it was Greg Mulvaney, and he has lifetime windows, right? So in theory,
window source.
Yes, with window source. But but his windows that he puts in are lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah, they're lifetime. Yeah. So he's like, I'm not going to get a lot of repeat business or I shouldn't get repeat business unless you're going to another house.
Right.
So almost counterintuitive, like what? But he could get referrals from those people.
100%, because then it's like and if he takes care of you, you want to refer those. Yeah.
So he and I just got into the conversation of brainstorming, like what are other creative ways, and without being weird, that you can just stay in touch.
It's a fine line of because this whole concept of this business was the law of reciprocity, which is also BNI, right? Givers gain, but you don't want to do it in a way where it's transactional. You want to do it where it's intentional. And so it's like, hey, I want you to remember me. So you asked the question, how do you stay top of mind? I think you mentioned real estate agents, right? So I was asking, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be, how do you guys do it? Because they may buy real estate and say, 3 houses in their lifetime?
Yeah.
I don't know. And so how do you...
years ago was every 7 years.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is, but it's how do you stay top of mind without being annoying, right? And so, there's email list, there's a Christmas card, maybe give something small for Christmas, but not junk, but just saying, hey, I'm here. The SEC or the football cards with the schedule and the calendar, those are big and popular, but just staying front of mind.
Yeah. And getting creative about it. I think that's the other important part, that you feel like you're giving value and are staying very creative about the things that you are giving to be top of mind.
Yeah, setting yourself apart. I think we talked about Donna with Heights Title, and she's she takes her agents out and gets their nails done. She has a manicure party, and I think it's around Valentine's Day. So she invites anyone who wants to come, and there's an agent. She's like, hey, I got, come get your nails done on me in a Heights Title. And so that's a creative way of, the agents go and they're talking and they're connecting with her, and she's staying front and top of mind, because with title, that's hard. You've got to, it's not something you're thinking of all the time.
100%. Yeah, I love the creative ways of making that happen. So in the next episode, I want us to talk about what are creative ways that we can use items and other things to capture more business as well, and stay ultimate top of mind as well. All right. So remember, referrals don't come from chasing, they come from connection. When you build the right network, business follows. So next week, we're going to talk about how to use the idea of impressions and visibility to open doors. If this was helpful, subscribe to more conversations like this. And if you're ready to grow through referrals, check out a BNI chapter near you by visiting BNI.com.